What's up, Dobsters? I don't know if you guys want to be called that, but I mean, this is DOB Dynasty doing our best. This is the second episode. Like I said before, I wanted to go over the trades. We just had our rookie draft this coming week, and we got through all that. There's been a bunch of trades, specifically two teams. This one dude whose name is actually Offer Me Trades, and then me. My team name is actually RG3PO. Little backstory, I've been playing this game for about 10 years or so, and then we have like a couple of people in our league that I know about probably 8 out of the 14, and then we do like a bunch of trades and whatnot. So little backstory, RG3PO, my team, I was like probably one of the worst teams. I traded too much to get too many people, or I just made bad trades. I'll let you know, my first team was, for the first 4 rounds, I drafted RG3, Trent Richardson, and Aaron Hernandez. Yeah, it goes back 10 years. So like that was my beginning team. My first 3 on my first 4 picks were those 4. So you can tell like I kind of fucked myself over on that one. So that was pretty bad. But anyway, let's get into these trades. It's kind of interesting. So usually I picked Keep Trade Cut as a website. It's like a dynasty calculator. Don't take it as the Bible. So like the the trade keep cut, like the points, it's kind of just like like a something to give you like a guideline. So like if you want to see like if you're close on the trade or how close you can be on the trade, it'll give you like trade ideas, what you can add, just to even the trade or whatever. You could do that. It's a good tool. But anyway, I just wanted to go over that because it's a little interesting how like the points kind of worked out. So this one dude, his name is Offer Me Trades. He did about 8 to 10 trades total with various teams. I think we did 1 or 2 trades together. But anyway, and bear with me because there's a lot of players on here. But basically what he did is this is who he traded for. So he traded for 1.03, which ended up being Tet McMillan, 1.05, which ended up being Trevarian Henderson, 1.08, which ended up being Caleb Johnson, 2.14, which ended up being a linebacker. Doesn't matter, linebackers are just whatever. It's just part of our league. If you do linebacker school, if you don't, no big deal. I don't really have a preference of like using linebackers and whatnot. I feel like we use too many defensive players in this league, but it's been going on for 10 years, and I think it's kind of too late to change it now. So you kind of have to draft 3 linebackers, 1 defensive lineman, and 1 safety / corner, 1 defensive back basically for your team. Also a kicker, which I don't really like kickers either, but whatever. 3.14, which you got Eric A.O. Manor. Hopefully I said that right. He's a Tennessee receiver rookie this year. And then 4.10 defensive end. I assume it was Abdul Carter, but I'll check later. It's not really a big deal. He traded for running back Chris Evans. He traded for Jacoby Myers, Christian Kirk, Rashee Rice, Kyle Pitts, Justin Fields, Matt Stafford, DeAndre Hopkins, Najee Harris, and DK Metcalf. And what he ended up trading away was, bear with me, there's a lot of players. He traded 1.04, which ended up being Travis Hunter, 1.09, which ended up being RJ Harvey. He traded away Sam Laporta, Brian Robinson, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Swift, 3.04, which ended up being a linebacker, 3.05, which ended up being Pat Bryant, rookie Denver wide receiver, 4.08, Ollie Gordon, 4.06, Xavier Restbro, rookie Tennessee receiver who played with Cam Ward I believe he played with him at Miami, but could be wrong. I know he played with him at some point, maybe high school or like whatever JUCO college that Cam Ward went to and transferred. He traded running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He traded another linebacker. Once again, it doesn't really matter what the linebacker is. A 2026 late first, a 2027 mid first, a 2026 mid second, a 2026 third, a 2026 fourths, a 2027 mid second, and a 2027 fourth. So entering all these people online, unfortunately, Keep Trade Cut, the Dynasty Calculator, only allows you to put in 12 people total. So like for his added and his traded away, it was about the same. So like I just added them all in one column. So all the added is in one column and all the traded was in one column. The added ended up being a total of 53,295 points, and his traded ended up becoming 45,746. So technically, he won the trade by 8,000 about, according to the draft calculator. Like I said, don't take it as a Bible. Like it's just like a good guideline for you to follow. So what I did do though, is I also put in like just the best 6 players to see if he won that trade. So the best 6 players that I put for him were basically 1.03. That's another thing too. If you put in a dynasty calculator like 1.03 or Tet McMillan, I noticed that 1.03 is worth a little bit more than Tet McMillan. So I just kind of put in the one that's more worth more points according to Keep Trade Cut. So anyway, I put in 1.03, 1.05, 1.08, Rashee Rice, DK Metcalf, and Kyle Pitts versus 1.04, 1.09, Sam Laporta, Brandon Ayuk, 2026 late first, and the 2027 mid first. And it ended up being he won the trade again with his best 6 players versus the one that he traded, 37,168 to 33,782. So overall, even without doing the calculator, I believe he won their trade war anyway. The only problem is this team doesn't have any picks in 26 or 27. He does have the rest of his picks in 28. Like I said, we go 3 years in the future, so he has 2028 round 1, 2, 3, and 4. His team ended up being like, after all of the trades are set and done, and I didn't notice any trades lately, and probably there's not going to be any trades until like maybe like 2 weeks before the beginning of the season. That's usually how it works out. Usually like a week before the season, everybody's cool with their team and kind of done with it. So his team, like starter-wise, or at least somebody who's worth something, it would be his quarterbacks are C.J. Stroud, Matt Stafford, and Justin Fields. His running backs are Trey Benson, Jonathan Brooks, who's injured again, Najee Harris, Travion Henderson, and Caleb Johnson. His receivers are DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Tet McMillan, DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman, Rashee Rice, Marvin Mims, and Jacoby Myers. And then his tight end is Kyle Pitts. Of course, he has other players, but most of them are like, not starters or like first or second year pros that were like 5th round draft picks, like, just to fill out his team. We have a total of like 42 players allowed on our team. So anyways, back to this, like the whole trades thing is just interesting because I wanted to get like a good, round place to start to be like, how did he win these trades? So individually, when he traded these teams, some of them could be, like he actually like completely won the trade, and some of them could be he lost the trade, but he gave up, more so that he can get something in advance to trade that. So in other words, if he needed like an extra second, then he would give up a little bit more to get that extra second, but he turned that extra second into, let's just say, Travion Henderson, because it was a part of that trade. So it's just interesting to look at like the trades. It's always hard to, decide how far you want to go when you trade for somebody. This guy has it down. He knows what he's doing. Obviously, he won the trades. He won pretty much all the trades that he did in the sense that it's best for his team. But, just for more clarity from a Keep Trade Cut, a dynasty calculator, basically defense, he also won, the trade. I'm doing this only because like I have a huge problem with trading too many assets for someone I believe in, and that's not very a good thing. I have not won this league obviously because I screwed myself from the beginning, and I've actually just now like rebuilt and I'm good. I'm gonna go over my team next because I made like 4 trades. But anyway, like it's interesting to see like how different people play. So this guy is all about playing to the strengths of what people are worth. So he knows people's exact values. Not saying he's wrong, not saying he's right. Like, it's all going to work out, in the season. We'll see what actually happens in, like, if he finishes like good or not out of contention. The shitty part for him is, like I said, he has no 2026 picks or no 2027 picks, so he doesn't have any way to build upon this. But he did trade for, tradable pieces who already have value. For instance, he could still get 1 first round for Kyle Pitts. I know Kyle Pitts pisses everybody off, and like I get it. So I'm actually a Florida fan too, huge Gators fan, and of course everybody knew he was a beast in college. So the thing is, like, he still had 1,000 yards his first season. The thing he's not doing is scoring touchdowns, and that's what everybody expects Kyle Pitts to do, is score touchdowns. He's like 6'6", 250, humongous Rob Gronkowski type who should basically be red zone ready and like get all these touchdowns. So that's what's killing everybody. But I mean, he's been pretty consistent over his career. He just gets a lot of flack because he just doesn't get those touchdowns. You need those touchdowns. One day he will break out. It could even be this year. I mean, they have Drake London. He gets a lot more targets and obviously the touchdowns. They have Bijan Robinson, who's probably going to take a lot away from all the secondary people like Kyle Pitts. But in all honesty, I think the Falcons will get rid of him on the basis, when his contract ends, on the basis that he hasn't become the stud that everybody thought he would. But I mean, like, even if he stays, I don't know. I still think Kyle Pitts is worth like a first round, but I could be wrong. If you can put it in the trade calculator if you want, it probably would be close, maybe a late first. Anyway, so basically, he won all those trades. I'll go through it again real quick. The added players was Ted McMillan, Travion Henderson, Caleb Johnson, Eric Ayomanor, Jacoby Myers, Christian Kirk, Rashae Rice, Kyle Pitts, Justin Fields, Matt Stafford, DeAndre Hopkins, Najee Harris, DK Metcalf. And the people he traded away were Travis Hunter, RJ Harvey, Sam Laporta, Brian Robinson, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Swift, Pat Bryant, Ollie Gordon, Xavier Restro, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then basically a lot of his picks. All right, so going to my team, RG3PO. So I had a chance to, actually had, I think, 3 first rounders, but no, I think it was 2. I had 1.10 and 1.13, I believe I started out with. And I ended up trading up to 1.05, and then I ended up trading 1.05 away, but got Rome Odunze, and then I ended up going back to 1.04 because I wanted one of these top 5 people. And then the person who had 1.02 wanted to trade that, and I'm a huge Omarion Hampton fan. I think Jim Harbaugh runs the ball at the time. I think that offensive line is going to block for him well, and Justin Herbert needs some help, obviously. So I think that Omarion Hampton is going to have a great rookie year and then continue this for, like 6 years or so. Probably about year 4 or 5, I'll think about trading him or whatever, just to get on the upside. So just wait for him to like be worth more than what he is. And that's one of my problems, is I always trade for people that I think will, be worth more in the future. Sometimes that does not work out. RG3, Trent Richardson, and Aaron Hernandez, like, kind of fucked up on that one. All right. So anyway, I ended up trading for, I added 1.02, which ended up being Omarion Hampton, 2.10, which ended up being Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end for Bowling Green, and 4.08, Ollie Gordon, the running back from Oklahoma State, who's now a Miami Dolphin, Rome Odunze, Romeo Doubs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and a 2026 third. I did give up 1.05, which was Travion Harrison, 1.13, which was Tyler Warren, 3.02, which was Jalen Royals, Washington's rookie receiver, Devontae Smith, Tyler Algier, Michael Penix, and the 2027 mid-first, which ended up being my first. Hopefully in 2027 I'll be making the playoffs, so it won't be a mid-first, it'll be a late first, but I just count it as mid-first just in case, give them the benefit of the doubt. So my added ended up becoming 22,394, and my traded ended up becoming 30,631. I look at those numbers and I'm like, fuck, I messed up. But like, it's about like who you believe in and whatnot. Like I said, I'm more of a risk taker, which is sometimes bites me in the ass. But I mean, like this league specifically, I wanted to be a competitor, so I wanted to get like the best people I could. Of course, as a Bears fan, I think that Rome Odunze is going to have a huge year. I'm expecting like 1,100 yards and probably like 8 touchdowns and 70 or so receptions. I just think he's going to blow up this year. Omarion Hampton, I already explained to you about him. Like, I think he's going to be like the guy. Like, I think he's going to have, even his rookie year, 1,200 yards and like 12 touchdowns. I believe that he'll be the power back to get inside that goal line situation, to get in the touchdowns and get those points that I desperately need. So anyway, overall, I gave up a bit too much, but I do believe in Hampton and Odunze. Like I said, I have all my picks, which is great. So my 2026, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2028, 1, 2, 3, 4. The only thing that I'm missing is my 2027 first. So I felt like I still came out on top, and I have a tradable piece in Rome Odunze and Omarion Hampton if I get in trouble. Like I said, I lost the trade 22,394 to 30,631, so about an 8,000 difference. See the difference? He won by 8,000 and I lost by 8,000. That's kind of my fault because, I'm trying to, when I see a player and I like him, I give up a little bit too much, and I do have that problem. And it was good to write this down, and hopefully this helps you too, because you want to get the best assets that you can and make sure that the trade is even and everything, but you also sometimes have to take chance in order to win a league. Like I said, I haven't won this league. I did win another league that's starting soon, another dynasty league, back in, I think it was our second or third year, so it was about 4 years ago. I think I won that league. So my team now, since I traded for everybody, is Jared Goff, Cam Ward, Bryce Young, as my quarterbacks. My running backs are Omarion Hampton and Bijan Robinson. My receivers are Tutu Atwell, Greg Dortch, London Drake, Romeo Dobbs, Troy Franklin, Jalen Hyatt, Tyler Johnson, Bub Means, Rome Odunze, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Tyquan Thornton. He's on Kansas City now, so hopefully he's a sleeper. We'll see. That's also why I mentioned Tutu Atwell. He's now I don't know why the Rams signed him. Honestly, they barely use him. But anyway, he's the third receiver now on the Rams. He could get open, There's obviously not enough shares to go around. They just drafted a tight end as well. And, of course, they have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. So I don't know. It could be 1 or 2 games here or there, but that's what you're looking for, on those bye weeks that you have the 1 or 2 people that can go off. Greg Dortch, I don't know. I liked him in college. He was a beast at Wake Forest. He unfortunately, dropped in the draft. He might have even gone on draft. I can't remember, but he's a 5'7", 180-pound receiver that's just quick. And then Troy Franklin, he's on Denver. They don't really have too many receivers of their own. He's coming in, I think, his second year. And then Jalen Hyatt, I expected a lot of him, actually. I don't think I gave up too much to get him last year, but it wasn't I definitely didn't give up any first or anything like that. Well, obviously, I have all my draft picks. Tyler Johnson, that was just the Jets suck. They don't have shit. It's just the way it is. Maybe I get lucky with Tyler Johnson. Apparently that's the biggest signing I've seen from the Jets this offseason anyway. I mentioned Bub Means just because once again they're like the Jets. They don't have anybody on offense. He's on New Orleans, so we'll see what he can do. Maybe Shulk will love him and maybe become his favorite target. You never know. Just throw those people in there, just to they're worth something, at least a 4th round pick or whatever. Anyway, finishing off, my tight ends are Harold Fannin, Dallas Goedert, and Darnell Washington from Pittsburgh, the tight end. It sucks that they got Darren Waller out of free agency. That was kind of weird, or I guess they traded for him. Giants got him out of free agency, and then he wanted to get traded to Pittsburgh. Whatever, I don't know. But anyway, that's my team. So basically, this was just for you to hear out what I think and what others do, and then kind of figure out from there how you can use these trades. Like I say, don't use keep trade cut as the Bible. Use it as just a guideline of I can add a little bit more, or I need to take a little bit less. Just find the balance that you feel would work best. It would be better if you liked somebody, because I'm sure the offer me trades definitely liked Travarian Henderson, because he really tried to get him from the get-go. He was trying to trade up to me at 1.04 or 1.05, and I think that's who he was trying to get, and then he ended up making all these streets. I mean, his name is Offer Me Trade, so he probably did that on purpose. And he's, like I said, he's a vet. I could tell he's fairly new to our league. I think he joined last year. Good dude. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just like use it as guideline. The Dynasty Calculator. There's another one that my friend from the previous video, he'll be on the next one. We're going to be talking about receivers. He'll tell you about another website that he uses, and it actually gives you like a couple of trade scenarios that already happened throughout like a bunch of leagues. And like so for instance, somebody traded like Rome Odunze in the first for Justin Jefferson, or they gave up like 3 firsts in Rome Odunze for like Justin Jefferson, somewhere around those lines. It'll tell you like a whole bunch of like other different trades that have happened over like various fantasy leagues. So hopefully this video finds it like helpful to you. Like I said, leave us comments, leave us anything that you want us to talk about. We're here to, give us doing our best to give you our fantasy advice. Appreciate y'all listening. Thanks.